Lockdown. So I haven't been going out for a ride lately because of a lockdown. Instead, I've been buying a lot of things that I shouldn't be, which is a bit counterintuitive lah. The whole point of getting a bike is to ride, right? Now I'm buying more things than riding. So what to do? But I'm not gonna complain because there are people that is actually going through this pandemic even worse. So I'm grateful that I get this bike in this year, and I'm very happy about it. I can't ride much, so story time. But before that, let me do a Malaysian ritual, which is iced tea. So just in case if you don't know or you are not from Malaysia, then let me tell you what is this. This is a bag of iced tea, and this is how we drink it when we take away the order. It's most likely not in a cup, but it's in a plastic bag. Alright, story time. So instead of sitting here telling you the whole story about this, well, actually the camera stopped recording for don't know what reason. Battery memory card seems okay. So no choice lah. I got another pack of iced tea again. Instead, I'll be doing a voiceover and also doing ceramic coating on the rims for this bike. Okay, let's start. Alright, let's start with when I was 5 years old. And that was 2001, which is also the oldest memory I'm able to recall lah. So back then, when I was 5 years old, and I remember that my dad was driving me. So I used to always spot cars, like, hey, that's a Honda or a BMW or a Lexus, like things like that. So over the years, I started noticing sports car like Ferrari or Lamborghini or cars that I don't know. So my dad would tell me the brand of the car. Like, let's say if I don't know about the name of it lah. So as a kid, we kind of picked things up really quick, and I started memorizing names of cars because I just fell in love with it. Mainly the way how it looks, the design of it lah. It just looks so cool, some car. Basically, I started out as a car person, and it started snowballing since then. So well, fast forward a few years, I remember that every Sunday that I would go to temple with my family, and then after that we would go to my cousin's house, which is my mother's side cousin. And I remember that what I would do all the time is to go to the internet and search for car images, like Yahoo, I still remember it was Yahoo. Because I didn't have internet back then I would just like memorize the CC of the engine, even though like I have no idea of like what it stands for. And that went on for years. So not long after that, my cousin bought a PlayStation 2, and I was still going to his place every Sunday, and one of the game is actually Need for Speed Carbon. So I kept searching the names of the cars in the game lah. As usual, curiosity got the best of me, and I remember Pagani Zonda back then was like my favorite car, my dream car. Actually until now, it is still. Just realized that a dream car that I'll never be able to afford. So yeah, that was the start of the interest, and it really took off from there. As a Chinese, we celebrate Chinese New Year every year when everyone will go back to their hometown and have like a reunion dinner with all the relatives. In my case, it would be at my father's side hometown, which is in Penang Island. So one of my cousin, his name is Anthony. We're like super close, even though like we only meet like twice a year. So he's the only cousin that I don't call by name. Instead, I call him Koko, which is big brother or elder brother. So here's where the fun begins. So during 2005, Anthony bought his first motorcycle, which is a Kawasaki ZZR 250. It was a blue Ninja. So he told me about it, and I just didn't care. I couldn't care less because I was all about cars back then. So fast forward 2 years, same thing. It was Chinese New Year. So during Chinese New Year, we usually only stay at home. So we don't go out at all because like there'll be other friends or relatives that will be coming over to have a visit. It's like a tradition. So even if you go out, it will be to visit friends or family members, exchange red packets. We call it ang pao. So there was a day that me and Anthony, we were like super bored, and he asked me to join him to wash his motorcycle at the basement area, the car park area, because it was a flat. And I was like, sure, why not, let's go. So during that time, he changed another bike, which is a Yamaha XJR 400. So he did his things, cleaning the bike, changing the spark plug and so on. So then he started the bike up. The moment he started the bike, the rest was history. It was an inline 4. I was a primary school kid, and the sound it makes just poisoned me in the brain and in the heart. So instantly thereon, I started falling in love with bikes. And so I start saving up a certain amount of money from the ang pao I get every year just to get a motorcycle. And I remember after that, every Chinese New Year when I go back to hometown, at night specifically, so me and Anthony, we would wait until everyone is asleep. Then we could sneak out the house and he would ride me around Penang Island. So the reason why we have to wait for everyone to be asleep first is because, firstly, my mother is an overprotective person and she would never ever allow me to get close to a motorcycle. Secondly, my dad passed away when I was 9 years old, which is 2005, due to pneumonia and also motor neuron disease. So how did he develop motor neuron disease back then? So actually he came from a poor background, so motorcycle was his primary source of transportation. There's one day that he got into an accident thinking that it was just a minor one, so he just brushed it off. Did he know his nerve was actually injured, and so his muscles just slowly stopped developing, and he got super skinny over the years, literally almost like skin and bones left, just like an anorexic person. I'm not making fun of anorexic person, it's just an example of it. It's just a visualization example. So he has to take steroids every month or every 2 weeks, if I can remember correctly, just to be able to get out from the bed, just to be able to stand and be able to move, So that's how bad it was. So yeah, that's why most of my family members are, anti-motorcycles, especially when it comes to me. So that is why me and Anthony, we would have to sneak out in the middle of the night when everyone's asleep. Nobody would know that we are out. The first time being a pillion on a motorcycle, it was crazy. It was a super cold night, so my feet were barely long enough to reach the pillion foot pegs, and I have to hug him super tight. My helmet didn't properly fit my head. It was loose and I can't stop giggling. It was crazy. It was just crazy. The adrenaline of excitement was there. So after the first ride, my legs were soft, was shivering. That's how crazy of an experience it was for me. So dear Anthony, that is how you properly poison a kid. So, secondary school time comes along. Nothing much happened as I don't have the money to get a motorcycle yet, and also my age was another factor that I couldn't get a license. As much as I wanted a motorcycle, I bought a bicycle instead because that was actually the closest thing to a motorcycle. So many accidents, so many experience, so many stories to tell. Actually, I could make another video just about that. If you're interested, let me know. Comment in the section below. And then 2018 came along. That was the limit. I have dreams of riding motorcycles at least like once a week. I haven't even gotten my license yet at that point of time. I just said, screw it, that's it. And I bought a KTM Duke 200 as my first bike without license. So that was actually one of the highlights in my life. Finally, I said to myself, I did it! I did it, I did it. And so here we are, 2021 and 390. I am actually very grateful, and I tell myself, yes, I did it again. A dream bike that has been in my mind for I don't know how many years, probably 3-4 years. Yeah, so if you like what I did and if my story kind of, shed some light, and also I would like to know about your story too. It's okay if it's super long, write it down in the comment section below. Definitely give it a like for this video and do subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all again in the next video. Thank you, ciao!